The Rich Tapestry of Cheese, A Journey Through History, Culture, Economy, and the Art of Cheesemaking. Introduction. Cheese, an ancient and beloved food, weaves together a captivating tapestry of history, culture, economy, and craftsmanship. From its humble beginnings to its diverse array of flavors and textures, cheese has left an indelible mark on our global culinary landscape. This video explores the fascinating history of cheese, its economic impact, the intriguing concept of U.S. strategic cheese reserves, the art of cheesemaking, and concludes with a personal favorite recipe that celebrates the joy of making and savoring cheese. Part 1: A History of Cheese. The birth of cheese. The story of cheese begins in ancient times, around 8000 BCE in the Fertile Crescent, the cradle of civilization. Nomadic tribes discovered that milk could be preserved longer by curdling it with rennet, an enzyme found in the stomachs of young animals. This process transformed liquid milk into curds and whey, creating the earliest form of cheese. Ancient cheesemaking. Cheesemaking techniques evolved in various ancient civilizations. In Mesopotamia, around 3000 BCE, clay tablets contained records of cheese production, highlighting the use of different milk types and the aging process. Egyptians, renowned for their dairy prowess, depicted cheesemaking scenes in hieroglyphs, illustrating the importance of cheese in their culture. They developed distinct cheeses, including brine cheeses like feta. Greek and Roman influence. The Greeks and Romans made significant contributions to the evolution of cheese. Greek literature featured mentions of cheese, with philosophers like Aristotle and Hippocrates discussing its nutritional value. The Greeks introduced the practice of salting cheese, aiding in preservation. Romans expanded cheese production and popularized cheese consumption throughout their empire. They perfected techniques such as cheese aging, resulting in cheeses like Parmesan and Pecorino. Middle Ages and monastic influence. During the Middle Ages, monastic orders played a crucial role in the preservation and development of cheesemaking techniques. Monks and nuns became experts in cheese production, creating distinct regional varieties. Monasteries served as centers of cheese production, using surplus milk from their livestock. They developed renowned European cheeses, such as Gouda, Cheddar, and Roquefort, emphasizing quality and artisanal craftsmanship. Technological advances. The Industrial Revolution brought significant advancements to the cheesemaking process. In the 19th century, the invention of cheese presses, cheese vats, and cheese factories revolutionized production, enabling larger-scale manufacturing and mass distribution. These technological innovations paved the way for the production of consistent and standardized cheeses. Modern cheesemaking and artisan revival. In the 20th century, industrialization led to a decline in traditional cheesemaking practices. However, the latter half of the century witnessed a resurgence of interest in artisanal cheeses. Small-scale producers sought to revive ancient cheesemaking traditions, using high-quality milk and innovative techniques. This artisanal cheese movement focused on preserving regional flavors, promoting sustainable practices, and establishing closer connections between producers and consumers. Contemporary cheese culture. In modern times, cheese has become an integral part of culinary culture worldwide. Cheese festivals, competitions, and specialty shops celebrate the diversity of flavors, textures, and styles. Consumers have access to an extensive array of cheeses, both domestically produced and imported from different regions. The demand for unique, artisanal, and farmstead cheeses continues to grow, reflecting a rekindled appreciation for traditional cheesemaking methods and unique flavor profiles. Part 2: The Global Cheese Economy. Cheese in the global economy. Cheese plays a pivotal role in the economies of numerous countries, driving revenue, trade, and employment. Let's examine the economic significance of cheese in key global markets. United States. The United States has a robust cheese industry. In terms of production, the country ranks among the top cheese producers globally. The U.S. cheese market is valued at approximately $40 billion, highlighting its substantial economic impact. Cheese consumption in the United States continues to rise, with per capita consumption averaging around 40 pounds, 18 kilograms, annually. In terms of trade, the United States is a significant player in both cheese exports and imports. The country exports a significant amount of cheese, valued at over $1.5 billion annually, with major destinations including Mexico, Canada, South Korea, and Japan. Additionally, the United States imports a considerable amount of cheese, primarily from countries like Italy, France, and the Netherlands. European Union. As a collective entity, the European Union (EU) has a dominant presence in the global cheese market. The EU accounts for a significant portion of global cheese production and trade. Countries such as France, Germany, and the Netherlands are known for their rich cheesemaking traditions and high-quality products. The EU's cheese exports are valued at several $billion annually, with key markets including the United States, China, and Japan. China, with its large population and evolving tastes, has emerged as a key player in the global cheese market. Cheese consumption in China has been steadily growing, driven by changing dietary habits and increased exposure to international cuisines. The country's cheese imports have surged in recent years, with a substantial increase in demand for both Western-style cheeses and domestic cheese production. China's cheese imports are valued at several $100 million annually. Global cheese economy. The global cheese market is a multi-billion-dollar industry, fueled by demand from both domestic and international markets. While precise figures fluctuate over time, the global cheese market is estimated to be worth over $100 billion annually. This staggering value reflects the vast scale of cheese production, trade, and consumption on a global scale. Key players in the global cheese market, such as the United States, the European Union, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, contribute significantly to the overall value of the global cheese economy. These countries possess diverse cheese-making traditions, produce a wide variety of cheese types, and engage in substantial trade activities. U.S. Strategic Cheese Reserves. Within the United States, cheese holds such significance that strategic cheese reserves have been established. Managed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, these reserves aim to stabilize dairy prices and ensure a consistent supply of cheese. The cheesemakers' reserves serve as a means to balance supply and demand, providing stability for farmers and consumers alike. Part 3: Cheesemaking. The art of cheesemaking. The craft of cheesemaking involves a series of steps that transform milk into delectable cheese. Coagulation. Milk is heated and coagulated by adding acid, such as lemon juice or vinegar, or rennet. This process separates the milk into curds and whey. Cutting and stirring. The formed curds are cut into smaller pieces, promoting the release of additional whey. Gentle stirring encourages further separation. Draining. The whey is drained, leaving behind the curds. The duration and method of draining influence the moisture content and texture of the cheese. Pressing. Curds may undergo light or heavy pressing, eliminating excess whey and shaping the cheese into desired forms. Salting. Salt is applied to the cheese's surface, enhancing flavor, aiding preservation, and discouraging harmful bacteria. Aging. The cheese is aged in controlled environments, allowing flavors and textures to develop over time. Aging durations vary depending on the cheese type, ranging from a few days to several years. Part 4: Ari's favorite cheese recipe. A personal favorite recipe: cheesy stuffed portobello mushrooms. As a cheese enthusiast, one of my favorite recipes that celebrates the joy of making and savoring cheese is cheesy stuffed portobello mushrooms. Here's a simple rendition. Ingredients: large portobello mushrooms, fresh mozzarella cheese, spinach leaves, sun-dried tomatoes, fresh basil leaves, olive oil, balsamic glaze, optional, salt and pepper to taste. Instructions: 1. Preheat the oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit 190 degrees Celsius, and lightly oil a baking sheet. 2. Remove the stems from the portobello mushrooms and gently scrape out the gills. 3. Place the mushrooms on the baking sheet, cap side down. 4. Layer each mushroom with spinach leaves, sun-dried tomatoes, and fresh basil. 5. Tear or slice the mozzarella cheese and distribute it evenly over the mushroom caps. 6. Drizzle olive oil over the mushrooms and season with salt and pepper. 7. Bake for approximately 15 to 20 minutes or until the cheese is melted and bubbly. 8. Optional, drizzle balsamic glaze over the stuffed mushrooms for added flavor and presentation. 9. Serve the cheesy stuffed portobello mushrooms as a delightful appetizer or as a main course alongside a fresh salad. Conclusion: cheese, with its captivating history, economic impact, and the art of cheesemaking, continues to enchant our palates and shape our world. From its ancient origins to modern times, cheese has delighted and nourished people across diverse cultures. As we embrace the pleasure of creating and savoring cheese, it connects us to our culinary heritage while offering endless possibilities for exploration and enjoyment. The cheesy stuffed portobello mushrooms recipe exemplifies the joy of cheesemaking and the delightful flavors that can be crafted with this beloved ingredient. Subscribe to Chicken Be Chicken on YouTube and TikTok.